Yeah, like ramming people? They're not ramming people. Yeah, I heard that.
Hi, it's the next day. Let's chill and smoke.
Born the same day I was. We were all devastated. The cops said that there was no evidence it was him and ruled it accidental, but none of us believed that.
That sounds like the real police.
His phone calls became more informative in the meantime. He would talk about who was home and who wasn't. If my brother would say my dad was home, he would tell him who was really in the house. He would also talk about the house itself. About the window in the kitchen he could easily open with a knife from the outside even when it was locked. And about the French doors that connected the living room to the side porch and how the lock could be finagled from the outside if you jiggled it just right. That night, my dad put in some carpenter nails at the bottom of the French doors until he could get a new lock ordered. My parents had to go to a company event for my dad's work. My older brothers were at St. West roller skating rink. My sister was on the phone with her best friend. My little brother was on the floor asleep, and I was watching Devo on the midnight special with Wolfman Jack. And it was really late. Suddenly, the top of the French doors swung inward, and in the few milliseconds before the nails in the bottom caused them to snap back,
You mean to tell me somebody has broken into your house before with people in there, killed your dog, stalked and threatened your daughters, and you gonna leave them at home by themselves? Makes perfect sense.
Could see his silhouette. My sister whipped the phone at the television and we ran up the stairs. About halfway up, we realized our little brother was still asleep on the living room floor. As quietly as we could, we slid back down the stairs to get him. We all went into our bedroom and didn't turn on the light. This way we could see outside. We watched out the window for a while, and when we didn't find him, we crept down the hall to our brother's room to look. We looked down and could see someone standing at the back door. He knocked loudly.
Let's have a joint.
"What do you want?" my sister asked out the window.
Dumb bitch.
Why not just turn on the bedroom light, let him know that there's no adults in the house,
Yep.
and show him your hands so he knows you ain't got
If there was my sister, I would just chuck her out and let the fucking stalker have her. Survival of the fittest. My sister is, you know, on her own. Chuck her out of the window, let the stalker have it.
She was calling the cops. He left. A short while later, my brothers returned home.
Fucking dumb
We
bitch.
told them what happened, and they walked around the yard looking.
Chuck her out of the window.
They came back
So
and
everything
things settled down. By now, we'd pretty much given up on calling the cops because it never helped. So we just went back in, each of us, except my youngest brother, still asleep. Don't know, and I'm not sure I want to.
These stories are some of the best creepypasta, true scary stories I've ever heard in my life. I don't know what I would do in that situation, man.
About a year ago, in my final semester in college, I worked at a department store in the mall. I didn't have a car yet, so I asked for day shifts because it was a 2-hour bus ride back home. So basically, if I had a closing shift, I'd get it done at 11, but not get home until 1 a.m. But sometimes I'd be given closing shifts, much to my annoyance, since I had a 6:45 a.m. class and my mother's worry because who wants their kid on public transport that late? I mean, sometimes she could come and get me, but it'd be too much of a hassle to get my younger sisters out that late and such, so I keep my earbuds in so that they think I can't hear them and I continue listening. What they're saying is horrific. To paraphrase, they knew my stop, which was the second to last one before the bus gets back to the terminal, and while my stop is at the front of my neighborhood, it's got no streetlights, and at this time of night, it's empty. And to put it simply, they were planning on, quote, snatching that piece of ass up. I was about 20 minutes away from home, so I knew I had to act quickly. Since I knew they could see me, as they were 2 seats behind me, but like across if that makes any sense, I pretended to play on my phone, acting oblivious while I was actually texting my mom. I text her saying, "Mom, can you please meet me at the bus stop?" 5 minutes go by, but no answer. We're getting closer to my stop, so I decide to call her cell phone. No answer. I call the house phone and she finally answers. It's about 12:30 a.m., so she was sleeping. I try to talk as calm and cheerily as I can. This was our conversation. "Hey Mom, did you get my text?" No. Mom's car. I pick my shit up and hightail it off the bus. I don't even look behind me to see if they're following me. I jump in the car and tell my mom to just go. I look in the rear view and I see the guys just staring at the car. The next morning I called my job and told them I quit. No more public transport for me. Thanks to my stepmom for teaching me Spanish, and thanks to my mom for getting the hint. I hope I never see those creepy, weird Spanish-speaking guys again.
Y'all done stuck around this long in this video, bro. I got a story for you guys, and I have not told this on YouTube yet. And it's a true scary story. Well, I almost got killed, so I guess you could kind of call it a scary story.
Let's pause it. Let's head to the cafeteria. Is this the cafeteria? Yeah, cool. Shit. Let's go eat the pizza out here. Let's eat it, I guess. There's a good fucking pizza. Let's head out. Let's go to here. First prize.
The only reason why no one else on the bus noticed is because number one, it was crowded, and number two, we didn't really raise our voices that much. Like when he pulled it, I didn't raise my voice, and he didn't raise his voice either. And I think me being so calm and collected towards him, he kind of understood, like, bro, I ain't willing to lose my life over someone stepping on my shoe. Like, it's not even that serious. So he put the gun away. That's not where the story ends, though. It gets more interesting, if you can call it that. Tell me why this white guy who had 3 kids with him, he looked like the basic stay-at-home deadbeat dad. White beater, basketball shorts. So for some reason, I guess my little brother bumped into him too. And since he was bigger than my little brother, he started trying to bang on my little brother too. But the crazy shit is that before I could say anything to this guy, the dude who pulled his gun earlier jumps, like literally jumps up and gets in the guy's face. It's funny because, I'm walking towards the dude and the homie look at me like, nah, bro, I got this. And I'm like, do you? Dude turns back around towards the dude, slaps the dog outside of homie in front of his 3 kids.
I was awake for a few hours, just to see if anything was going to happen. At some point, I guess my exhaustion caught up with me, and I drifted off. I awoke sometime later to what sounded like someone going through our stuff outside the tent. I grabbed my gun and woke my girlfriend, shushing her to be quiet. From the faint glow of the fire, I could see someone's silhouette against the tent. There really was someone out there. I yelled out to them something along the lines of, "We are armed, get the fuck out of here." They dropped what they were doing and bolted. I came out of the tent, gun drawn and ready to shoot someone. Our stuff was strewn all about. They had rummaged through quite a bit of our stuff. I walked to the edge of the woods in the direction whoever was out there had fled. There was a creek nearby, and I walked to the edge, where there was a small trail running alongside it. Down the creek, I could see a light. It looked like a lantern the way it flickered. Then I saw 3 more emerge from the other side of the woods. I told my girlfriend to start packing up whatever she could and that we were leaving now. We packed up everything of value, left the tent and a few other items, and headed back onto the trail in the middle of the night. I kept hearing people talking off in the woods and hearing branches snap for quite some ways. I kept looking behind us every few seconds to make sure nobody was coming up on us. It was completely nerve-wracking. If something...
First of all, your biggest mistake was letting these niggas know you had a pistol. I'm looking as defenseless as possible. I want y'all to show me what y'all was gonna do to me if I was just some random defenseless dude out here. When I've ascertained the information that I want of what y'all was gonna do with me, if it's grimy enough, now you getting shot, nigga. Now there's no remorse.
Happened, we were still a long ways from anywhere and quite literally on our own, since we hadn't seen another hiker the entire time we'd been out there. I really felt we were in serious danger. We had been walking for quite some time when I heard something in the woods behind us. As we rounded a corner, I turned around and saw someone step out onto the trail and just stand there watching us. It was just as the sun was coming up, and there was barely any light, so I couldn't
shot that nigga.
Make out any features. It was just the silhouette. I stopped and looked at them for a sec and asked them who they were and what they wanted. They just stood there, silently watching us, and then turned and walked back into the woods. We picked up the pace and kept going, looking back every so often. We didn't see them again, but my gut told me that they were still there for quite a ways. We eventually reached the end of the trail and got to where we had parked my girlfriend's car, extremely exhausted. We made it out of the Virginia woods without becoming a meal for a clan of cannibalistic inbred hillbillies, which is what I pictured happening in my head the whole time. I have no idea who they were or what they wanted. Maybe it was just someone messing with us, or maybe it really was a clan of deformed hillbillies who were hunting us. I'll never know because I will not be returning to find out.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a whole lot longer than my videos usually are. If you guys want to watch the rest of this video, the link is in the description down below. It leads to Corpse Husband's channel. Make sure to go check him out, subscribe. If you guys want to check out some of my crazy life stories, I have a link in the description leading to that playlist. I have a ton of crazy stories leading from trying to have sex with girls who aren't trying to have sex with me back, which that doesn't sound good. Now,
what should I watch now? What should I watch? What should I fucking watch now? This video. Fuck off ads.
alright, so just in case this video gets 1 million or something, which I probably doubt it will, for the people that haven't been on my channel in a while, get on my dick! In the comment section, talking about something, oh my gosh, Devontae, where have you been? First of all, welcome back. Secondly, I've been here, uploading every week, or at least trying to. I never left. My notifications just don't get sent out to everybody every time I upload. So with that being said, I have made over 25 videos that have nothing to do with the She Belongs To series since the last She Belongs To video was made. So, go check them out. Yeah. Apparently this was the most popular series on my channel, blah, blah, blah. I'm bringing it back just once time. I'll do y'all a solid. If this video gets 100,000 likes, I'll do another one, which probably won't happen. So I won't be uploading another one for a while, my boy. After this video, another video is going to drop next week, dedicated to my grandmother. Alright, enjoy. Confidence. Integrity. Accountability. Communication. Long ago, even though they were divided, the two nations lived together in harmony. And then, everything changed when the Sims attacked. Only the Alphaton, master of all 4 elements, can stop them. But, when we needed him most, he vanished. Almost 100 years passed and some rando discovered the new Avatar, a confidence vendor named Devontae. And although his confidence skills were great, he still has a lot to learn before he can save the homies. But I believe Devontae can save the world. So back in 2018, I had a girlfriend that I was always off and on with. Yes, her. I know y'all are tired of seeing her, but I was dead serious about having a lot of stories about this specific ex. ex. Understand that I know the game and how to play it now, but I'm gonna tell this story from a perspective when I didn't know the game. I done did my time in the trenches. I ain't going back. Anywho, we were off and on because this was around the time where her feelings started to decrease daily for me over a course of a couple months. I'm talking about Shawty's body language scream. Yawn, I don't want you no more, Nika. Because she was the type of person that got bored and moved on really fast unless you could constantly entertain her. However, was it the fact that she was bored or was it the fact that she was just used to toxic relationships? I blame myself because at first she chased me in the beginning of the relationship. Then once I folded and she finally got me, I started chasing her. Fellas, understand that women love the grind. They love the chase. And when they lose attraction for you, they tend to leave the relationship mentally before they do physically. And that's something I didn't pick up on around this time. Confuzzled like shiz, boy. So what would she do? She would start chaos just to keep herself entertained, like starting arguments, thus leading to the infamous phrase, I need a break. Red freaking flag. Let the hoe go. Everywhere we went, she'd find something to argue about, then would bring up how her ex wouldn't do whatever the topic of argument was. Then it would lead to an issue, then a break. Mind you, she was still friends with her ex. That was her first everything. The imprint. And I didn't even know. Red freaking flag. Let the hoe go. Listen, ladies, fellas, 99.9% of the time, a break is just a stepping stone towards a break-up. And an excuse for them to go cheat with other people. And then when you find out, they hit you with the, well, we were on the break. Bruh, throughout those span of the months, that happened every time. Argument, break, she cheat. I didn't know about it. We come back together for whatever reason. You know who she cheated with? You guessed it. Her ex. I didn't know a thing. If I would have known what breaks meant back then, this would be an entirely different video. Back then, I thought breaks were just, we take some time off, get our thoughts together, go see a therapist maybe, Then when we put ourselves back in check, I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. Her version of it was, I'm gonna get my back blown out by some other nigga because he pissed me off, and I don't really feel like doing the opposite and working it out, even though it's a committed relationship. Because of the mental state I was at the time, being a pup, scrappy dude, it made things worse. Every time we got back together after a break, I wanted to chase her validation even more by doing things for her. Doing all the wrong things, which was stupid. Listen to me and listen to me well, my shinobi of the mellow mafia. Never, ever chase anybody's affection, love, or anything of that nature. Attracted. I did all of that, not knowing a thing, until the day she allowed herself to get caught in 4K. But the way she did it was mad disrespectful. I still can't believe it. Man, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the day before her birthday. And mind you, beforehand, I have never done this for any, and I mean any girl that I've had a relationship with before her. I did the worst thing you could think of at the state I was in that she did not deserve. I decided to throw her a party. I know. Not like a big party, but just something to show her that I care. Cake, presents, and all that. Still ignorant to what breaks are and what she's done on them. So it went like this. My homie and his mom at the time was kind enough to let me throw the party at his crib since my parents wasn't having it. It was supposed to be a surprise party, so I head to the store, gets the cake, gets the card, gets the presents, all that stuff she ain't deserved. Ready the day before. Put it all in my trunk, locked and loaded. Fast forward to the next day, 6 a.m., wake her up with the birthday call and the birthday song. The regular version and the black version. Boy, I was doing it all for somebody that didn't even deserve it. Later that day, I pick her up and had her think this was just a regular hangout day with the homies. Because as I stated before in previous videos, she was a part of the group because she was close friends with a person that a lot of y'all probably might remember. One of our friends back then, his name was O.
Don't accept age as a limit or a bad night's sleep. Feel strong.
Yes, this dude. She didn't say a word the whole ride. Blank expression. You would think it ain't even the whole birthday the way she was acting. We pull up to the homie's crib. It was me, the homie that let me use his crib, the one that came for moral support, and we get to the door. While she goes in, I act like I forgot something in the car. Me and my boy Eric go back to the trunk, get everything, boom, pop inside, and everybody in the room starts singing the birthday song. The homie that let me use his crib turns on the music, everybody having a good time for like 30 minutes. After the 30 minutes is up, this is where things get slim shady. By this time, those two left to go to the store so me and her could have some alone time. I'm on the couch, but O leaves into the other room looking real irritated. I noticed it, but I brushed it off as soon as she stood over me. She parks them buns on me like she wanted my Big Mac truck in her little garage, like she wanted to start something she most likely would have finished. 10 minutes go by, and the whole time we making out a little bit. She talking to me all nasty, telling me what she's gonna do to me when we get back to the car, etc., etc. Next thing I know, her mood went from happy AF to slightly concerned. For who, you may ask? Well, she leaned up, looked over at the room, got up, and told me she'd be right back. Still ignorant and coochmatized, I was like, okay. She leaves into the room where O was in. I kid you not. 30 minutes go by. 30! I'm like, what's taking Shawty so long? I've been sitting in this eyes on. It was for a break. So I get up to go see if Alice came back from Wonderland just to be surprised. No, bamboozled at the horrific sight I laid my eyes on. It was her and
you caught those two fucking
on the floor, holding hands. Y'all thought it was something else? That's besides the point. It be your own homies, bro. The disrespect in that room. Not only did these niggas act like it wasn't a problem, but
I wouldn't care, she's a swat.
Audacity to justify
So,
it. Like, her
fuck
reactions were heartless AF, no remorse.
That's his
not
problem
a brain cell
now.
working
We're
in
over.
her head. She acted like
I'll
I
be
just
happy.
didn't do all of this. Boy, what the heck? What's going on here, man? They both paying me no
I'll
mind.
be happy me and her
This nigga had
are
a
over.
smile on his face.
That's
She
his
with
problem.
Just holding hands. He and I
That's
are just
fucking
friends, though.
his
Y'all both
problem
gonna be
then.
ancestors in a minute if y'all don't stop. Calm down, bro. You just doing too much. We ain't even doing nothing for real. Yeah, like, I don't see what's so wrong about this. Bet. You know what? Bet. Bro, when I tell you I walked out that room so mad, not only did the homie, but what I thought was my homie, did me dirty. As if he'd been plotting the whole time and had no remorse for it, doing it in the same area. But the same girl that I did all of this for did me dirty too and tried to justify it. Be real with me, y'all. What are you doing in this situation? I know for a fact a lot of y'all would have stirred up straight anarchy. Like it would have been World War VI in that room with no hesitation. But me, I know how I am. I would have did the same thing, but I was on different timing. Because that's the bro that left mama's house. I'm not trying to rake nothing up in that house. She would have killed me too. So I just left and regretted everything. At that point, you're done, you're done. She belonged to the Omniverse. From the streets she emerged, back to the streets she shall return. Now I tell y'all in a lot of videos that over time I've lived and experienced things and learned from them. This right here was something that I learned from but didn't really adjust accordingly, if that makes sense. It took some weeks to get over, but due to my overwhelming kindness and forgiving nature, I managed to work things out with the both of them with my other homies as support. Because I done known O since childhood. I didn't want to see our friendship end right there. Ignorant to how snakes worked. I had hope for the future and really tried to see if I could bring out the good in them, which was a dumb mistake on my part too, because at the time I had my guard down. I didn't understand that no matter how much a snake sheds its skin, it's still a snake. I fell right for the bait, oblivious to the fact that they were telling me everything I wanted to hear just to get back into position, absorbing all the apologies and reason. So back in school, I used to be on the football team. You know what really grinded my gears more than the practice itself? The locker rooms before and after practice. Yes! The most toxic place in all of humanity. But why, Devontae? Because it was like prison. Once the coach let everybody get dressed or wash up in the showers and shut them doors. And that's one of the reasons why I hated locker rooms. And trust me, there's more. So first off, it was like a fucking jungle every time I walked in. There was always somebody at the top of the food chain trying to devour the weakest link in the food chain, i.e. the douchebags picking on the weakest targets. You leave your locker open and they think you won't do nothing about it, get what? They turn off the lights and they think you can't defend yourself, get what? Smack. If you don't in 30 seconds to a minute get in, do what you gotta do, and get out quickly, get what? Harass. The douchebags did
chill on the balcony in my dorm. In my homie's dorm. I forgot his name. I think his name is Adam. Something like that. It's around here. Press play.
Taking their power to make those 30 minutes to an hour living anarchy. But the madness doesn't stop here. Man, I remember a couple times in the locker room, bro, this nigga AZ, you know, the little dude from this story I told y'all about, before he eventually quit for the basketball team full time, dude whipped out his cock in front of everyone, walked around and was like, if you look, you gay. Oh, ain't no fucking
hey, yo, what the fuck? Is this serious?
Then right afterwards, Buddy proceeds to pull out his cheeks, walks around, and was like, if you look, you gay. Oh, ain't no fucking
hey, yo, what the fuck? Is this serious?
Yep. Sounds about Aiden Ross. Hold on. It doesn't stop here. Another thing I hated about the locker rooms was the fact that during the showers, the douchebags always came unprepared. Man, I had a nigga come up to me one time while I was opening my bottom locker talking about something. Hey, you got some soap? And of course I didn't. Even if I did, you ain't getting it. Yeah, I'm selfish. So I turned my head around to tell him no. And the first thing I see in my personal space, towering over me, was his big black body.
I am disgusted.
You know how many times that happened to me, bro? Niggas was asking me for towels, soaps, clothes, all while being booty butt naked. It got to the point where I was just like,
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
you know what made things even worse? I had beef with everybody. But why is that, Devontae? Because they all treated me like a waste of sperm, despite being in the middle of the food chain. So I matched their energy. And they didn't like that. Man, I had beef with the coaches, my teammates, the support team. The equipment manager wanted to fight me because I called his assistant's BS out about her having this big attitude. Like, I don't know why the nigga wanted to fight me over the truth over there built like a tree stump with a grass allergy. It wasn't my fault your little chihuahua had anger issues. I had them too growing up, but you don't see me foaming at the mouth anymore and everything everybody does.
Why you on my dick? What?
Somebody say something stupid now, I just hit them with the rise of deception out on all platforms now, bro. I had so much beef with everybody that you would have thought I wrote the lyrics for that Playboy Cardi song. Like, bro, it was beef I didn't even want. All I wanted to do was mind my business and go about my day being unproblematic and outspoken. But nah, I had to deal with all these lame ass, ugly, Crash Bandicoot body ass, goof ass people harassing me because of my social status or whatever they thought about me. But you know what? It's alright though. A little dirt don't hurt because it fertilizes a strong mind. So whenever I got the chance, I took out all my anger on the field. Somebody come get this man an ice pack. Yeah. That's a raw description of what I went through in the locker rooms back in school. If I could go back though, things would be a lot different. Which would kind of be a bad thing because all of that made me who I am today. I guess that goes into the, little dirt don't hurt, you know what I'm saying?
Huh.
I walk inside thinking the plan hasn't completely stopped yet. I'm about to do my thug thizzle. And then I made some dumb decisions in my life, but this one has got to be absolutely, positively, undeniably the dumbest. I never thought once in my life where I'd be so down catastrophic to the point where it would get me fired from my job. So back in 2018, I used to work at this chicken joint after school. Not gonna say what the name is, I just, leave it hang. Figure it out. Y'all are smart people. Well, some of y'all. Remember this video? Yeah, this was the job I got after this story took place, and I worked there from 2016 to 2018. Now, fast forward to 2018, the year of my employment demise. One day, an hour before work, I'm in my room preparing to get this paper, doing what needs to be done. All of a sudden, I'm awoken out of my slumber to a door being shut and people walking upstairs. So first thing that come to my mind is, why are there so many footsteps I'm hearing? Like, my mama ain't have that many kids. I'm confuzzled. So I gets up and go sees if the FBI is about to open up, just to be surprised at the group of people I saw chilling in the living room upstairs. My brother, my group of friends at the time, and my girl at the time, which happened to be a part of the group too. She for the team, she for the team. We were a very dysfunctional group of people, but that's a story for another day. Anywho, turns out my brother invited everybody over to hang out after getting permission from my dad, who was at work. You know who else was about to go to work? Me. You know who else wanted to hang out with my friends and girl instead of getting this paper? Me, nigga. Hey, this nigga dumb as fuck. And on top of that, you know what the driving force for me wanting to hang out with my friends and girl that night was, instead of getting that acquired currency? That driving force was my girl after everyone was gone or asleep, giving me that Gawk 9000 dishwasher triple deluxe spaghetti with extra sauce top ramen double leaf blower. Ay, que rico. I kid you not, that was our routine after every hangout session. After work or on off days, after everybody would leave, my brother and sister would go into their rooms and sleep. Before my parents got home, she'd send me to the shadow room in the gulag, and then I'd send her back to the war zone. But why that day of all days I put my pleasure before my priorities? I was ready to risk it all after seeing them having fun, bro. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. It's like I was fiending for both of my pleasures. So I puts on my size 11 and a half work shoes and my uniform, got in the whip, and left 30 minutes.